Hey, Heidi Ho, and season's greetings. Welcome back to Destination, your place for all things Destino. I'm your host, Poteet, and today we ask away everything we want to ask Tommy, our founder. So, we got Tommy on the line. How are you doing today, Tommy?
I'm doing pretty well. Thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah. I can tell you're excited to be here. So, we got a long list of questions to go through today, but we're going to start with just a couple typical questions and jump around from there. So, first off, tell us a little bit about yourself. What is some things you'd like to share about yourself voluntarily as a person? Hobbies, interests, that sort of thing.
As you guys already know, my name is Tommy. I'm 24. I live in Michigan. As of right now, not really much is going on in my life. I am working part time. I'm actually going to be training to become a pro wrestler in starting in April, and that will be from April to June. Trying to go for my dreams, and aside from those, my hobbies include play video games. My go-tos are Overwatch, Fortnite, Hitman. Um, I'm also into yoga. I'm into biking and exercise and swimming. What else? What else? Oh yeah, the pro wrestling. I've been a pro wrestling fan since I was 10 years old. And obviously, I'm into Survivor, Big Brother, The Challenge, and I've been into The Challenge the longest. Survivor, I got into when I was 16. The Challenge, like when I was like 10 or 11, actually. And Big Brother, when I was 21 during the pandemic. Actually, I got into that.
All right. And so, obviously, you've been in orgs for a decent amount of time, so why don't you walk us a little bit through your org journey? How did you first get into orgs? What drew you to found Destino in the first place? And ultimately, how did that all end up to where we are today?
So when I found orgs, I actually found them way before I knew they were orgs. I remember when I first got my laptop and I was into Survivor, I was Googling custom Survivor logos. And the logo I came across was Survivor Take All, which was a season where Survivor Macedonia winner Linus actually played and won. And not even just Linus, Marie, who played Skeleton Coast, was on that season. And it looked very appealing. I just thought it was like, um, what's the word? It's kind of like 512, where it was like random and not like anything that actually existed. And then few years later, around 2019, late 2018, early 2019, that's when I actually discovered like, wow, this is actually a real thing. At the time, I was like very adamant of possibly applying for the show, and I figured like, you know what, maybe that would be some good practice. So I applied for a few games, and the first one I got accepted into was Louvre, which is now a deceased org. Rest in peace, Louvre. I did not do well in that game. I made it past the swap. I think if I remember correctly, I was six voted out. Um, but I just remember like that was just the start, and from there I played a lot of orgs. I played Bangarang following that. Well, in tandem with that, a lot of Facebook games, a lot of the orgs you see on Discord, like Main 703, Bangarang was around. I played the original seasons on Facebook. Um, and pretty much like I've been on when I started, I was like AWOL, did a lot of them all at once. Um, but I think after I played main, that's when I calmed down and started doing a little bit at a time. In addition, following my appearance on main is actually when I founded Destino. The idea of like hosting and like running my own org was very appealing, despite not having the knowledge. So I gathered a few people I had that were my friends and asked them to help with Destino. Destino was like my sole like idea, and I just remember like when I started it, not really having a game plan aside from like starting it and doing Rwanda. But as you can see, it's grown a lot. But pretty much like I just DIY'd it, and Destino was born.
Oh yeah, and yeah, long road to see where we are today. So I think now we are good to start heading into some of the viewer questions. Are you ready for this experience, Tommy? Are you ready?
Yes and no.
All right. First off, Joan asks, "How big is your backyard?"
About a I don't want to say a football field because it's definitely not a football field size. Um, Probably 50 meters by 25 meters.
All right. Is that big enough to host a Survivor season on?
If you're looking to do one world, then absolutely. But
All right, Tommy's
I
backyard,
don't know
one
what.
world confirmed, ladies and gentlemen. All right, all
Yeah,
right.
that's gonna be the meme season that we do.
Meme order
And
coming
then meme. I
back?
mean, I thought meme org was already back.
That's true. It's still going on. All
Yeah.
right. And our first winner, Alex Gabriel, says, "Will pancakes make a return?"
Alex Pancake's been in the Destino org hub for a while now. Have you not noticed? But as far as like adding it to a server during the game, no. I think that was it. I think that bot is just somewhat of a distraction, and that's why I don't like having the bots in the server while the season is ongoing. If it's in the hub, I don't mind, but in a season server, I'd prefer not.
So, I'm not sure if many newer folks will fully appreciate pancakes. Could you please explain the Chingaza incident super quickly?
Basically, a lot of the players prefer to play Pancake than do the other stuff. That I don't remember who. I just think it was like I forgot his name. Forgot who it was. It was one of 3 people. I don't want to just like throw out a name. And then eventually the tribe, merged tribe name ends up being Pancake, and it was just so annoying. I think also, I think part of it was like Chloe like pushing it as well, which is very Chloe of her. So yeah.
Didn't they rack up like infinite debt too?
Oh wait, okay. That um we had a challenge called Sacrifice where at the because we had our Emerald Twist at the end of the challenge, in order for like determine a tiebreaker, the person who sacrificed the most emeralds won. And Han, I'm gonna look it up real quick because I'm curious how much she actually debt uh sacrificed. Uh Let me just say it was like a high number that he sacrificed, and yeah, that's where like the emerald deck came in. It wasn't anything to do with the pancake,
Okay. Fair enough.
but it was definitely an adventure there.
All right.
By the way, Han, if you're listening to this, you're still an emerald debt.
Woo! Gonna be climbing out that pipe for a long time. All right. Nathaniel asks, "Why is Netherlands your favorite season?"
Oh, before we get to that one, I just looked it up.
Okay.
Han's emerald debt is 10 to the 89th power. I think that's how you
Nice.
say it.
That's a lot
So,
of zeros.
and okay, now answering Nathaniel's question, it is not.
But why is Netherlands your favorite season?
It's not.
But why is it your favorite?
It is not. Nathaniel was one of the few good things to come out of that season.
Aw, that's so sweet to Nathaniel. All right. Uh, Tommy Revolution asks, "Why am I doing this?"
That's a very good question. Because I want to, I guess. I don't know.
All right. Tiff asks, "What Destino season has the best aesthetics?"
But hmm, that's a very good one because like over the course of time, it's definitely gotten better artistically. Um, let me think about that. I really enjoyed Bora Bora's these sticks, as well as Cowlitz. Um, I think I'm gonna go with Bora Bora. I just think everything was like very beautiful in that season, especially the Mind vs. Heart twist we had in mind. It was just all very cool, and I think aside from the logo for that season, which is not my favorite, it was a very pleasing season to like work with.
Shane asks, "What's your favorite cast from any Destino season?"
Hmm. I would definitely have to say Bora Bora again. That cast was just there to play, and we had the Mind versus Heart twist, we had the Soul Connection twist. Um, it definitely was like a cast again. That cast that came to play. They worked with the twist very well, and we had and there's just strong players across the board in that cast. So, as far as like a season's cast goes, Bora Bora. And I did see another question about like what cast I would love like to redo a season with the same cast.
Yeah.
That was from Henry. Again, Bora Bora. Obviously, obviously it wouldn't be the same, but
Mm-hmm.
it's still a very it's still like one of the best casts we've had. If it was like back then with that cast at that nature, 100% would do it again.
All right. Poti asks, "What's your ideal vision for Destino's future?"
To see it live on pretty much. I don't think I will be hosting Destino for much longer. To be honest, I'm not gonna hide that. I know Shane and you know that for sure. I do think there'll be a time where I will hang up my hosting boots. But for now, I just want to see Destino thrive. And get to a level to where if I am going to be stepping down as bureaucrat, there's some good. It's in good hands. So as far as my ideal future, definitely try to keep it in good hands, as well as like I want to see Destino. I have some goals for Destino. I want to see an all winner season. I want to reach season 50. I want to see. I want to see Destino thrive for that long. So, and we're at season 17, about to be at 17. Yep. So we are slowly but surely approaching there. So hopefully, long live Destino.
Long live Destino. Long live the cult.
Absolutely.
Jalen asks, "Why do I deserve a third chance?" Hint, we're both in the voted out on your birthday club.
Well, bringing that up, I see how it is, Jalen. Um,
Just say we were both voted out on the birthday.
to be fair, it's like I'm not opposed to seeing him have his third chance. I was really high on him in Raja Ampa, and I think him being voted out first was a shame. But who knows? Just apply when the opportunity is right.
Hey, you can always get a third chance in Destino with the Destino spin-offs.
That's true.
That is always true. Well, once it happens. Chroma asks, "What are your favorite hosting experiences?"
Mount Everest 100%. Mount Everest worked out the kinks that Rwanda had, and just seeing that game play out, like it sucked during the pre-merge, and you played that season, and you know that.
Awful
But
pre-merge.
following the merge, yeah, but following the merge, it was just fantastic from start to finish. Seeing like all the casts play, as well as like for me as personal growth as a host, being able to be more hands-on and pretty much have a so much better like hosting experience for myself than it was in Rwanda. I would like to think Mount Everest is up there as one of my favorite hosting experiences. as well as Bora Bora was a fun one. What else? I think those two for sure. Yeah, I think those were really like the two that stood out because the other seasons and there's always something that came up.
All right. Arlie asks, favorite merged tribe name? Only one correct answer.
Calamamba, 100%.
Calamamo! That is probably not Arlie's one correct answer.
Alright, what would you expect me to say, Birdo?
Pancakes.
Oh, he was expecting me to say
I have no
Chromo.
idea what Arlie.
Not Chroma. Chloe can't name the
Chloe
tribe.
can't name the tribe.
Or Jenna.
I mean, it's definitely the longest tribe name in Destino history.
It is.
All right. Tiff asks, how many Survivor buffs do you own?
I'm actually going to take a quick picture of this, but I actually own 3 of them. I will send it in the Ask Away channel. I'm not trying to take a selfie right now. But
No selfies. Look, this
I
is
bet someone
an
would like-
assing thing, not a selfie thing, Tommy.
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if someone appreciated the selfie from me.
I'm sorry, the way you said that was just hilarious to me. I mean,
Oh, yeah, but,
someone will
yeah.
appreciate the selfie.
Alright, but sending it now. I actually own 3 Survivor buffs. If you're in the server, it's in the Ask Away Tommy. I own the Merge buff from David vs. Goliath, the Vokai buff from Island Idols, and the I forgot the tribe name, but the green buff from 42. I was gonna get either the Baka or the Bessie buff from 43, but then I figured, wrestling school is expensive. I'm just gonna hold off on buying that.
All right. Alex asks, if you have the power, which season do you want to redo? Aside from the obvious, Netherlands.
Who did I say again?
What's that?
Oh, Alex had a few.
Yeah.
Alex had a few. Okay. A season I would redo. I would say Rwanda, and in the same point, reuse Rwanda as a location. And I've actually have thought about this, but there's been this idea of like this Returns to Rwanda season where it's basically like a redo of Rwanda, but it's like more advanced than what it was in 2019. Like like still implementing similar twists, the twists that we've seen in that season. But definitely reworking them to make it a lot more understanding of a game and a lot more effective as a game.
Rwanda, but the volcano is erupting.
Oh, that already happened.
That's very true. All right. Next up, once again from Alex, is there any location you would want to revisit? Obviously, Rwanda, but is there any other additions you would have onto that?
As far as places I would like to go again, I don't even know. Japan seems pretty obvious, and I think we will go back to Japan eventually in the future in some capacity, so I'm not going to say that. I don't know, to be honest.
All right. And lastly from Alex, in the future, can we expect alumni to reappear in some capacity in a season, not as players? Coaches, Cochrane Award, family visit, or just simply to participate in a challenge with the contestants?
I've actually thought about bringing back a player to participate in a challenge with the contestants, kind of like in a beat the dealer type of game challenge. I know they did it recently on Maine with Lake Tequipa. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah.
It's at New Zealand location. As far as family visits, I'm not the biggest fan of them in orgs, so I don't know if I would ever do one of those on Destino. And the coaches or the Cochrane Reward, never say never is all I'm gonna say.
All right. That brings us on to Andrew, who says, "What would you say is the best twist?"
Best twist. Soul Connections is probably up there as one of my favorites. Um, it definitely was great seeing the cross tribal dynamic that the twist allowed, and I think that made the ability to like have a more of an effective game to start off with possible. As far as other twists, the Bounty Bingo was a good one. John, if you're listening to this, that's probably another one of my favorite twists from the org. Serengeti, it may be a lower tier season, but I really did like the twists and all that. I think the only regret that season was like doing a late swap, but the Bounty Bingo that season was absolutely amazing. Um, and let me think if there's any more. Um, I feel like an underrated one is actually the Conquest from Chingaza, where um, I'll just read off the wiki because I'm having a hard time
Yeah, go for
remembering
it.
it. But basically, it was basically everyone plays as individuals for their tribes, and if you place in the higher half, you were safe, and the bottom two from each tribe will go to tribal, where one of them would be voted off. It was definitely a good twist. It's just not one
Yeah.
like I the person that got voted off the episode, I feel like was going to be pretty much anyway, so I don't think it really had that effectiveness of taking out a strong player. But I've always viewed it as a great twist.
All right. Tiff asks, if forced to, meaning you cannot say none of them, which image in Destine NFT, I still don't know how we want to pronounce that, would you most likely turn into an
NFT.
NFT?
Hold up, um, I'm just gonna reply to it, and it's obviously we have to go Clyde for that one. The poster Rhino of Destino. I wonder what happened to him.
Oh, classic Clyde. I want to pull Clyde up on the actual stream as well. He'll be right next to you.
Alrighty.
Hold up. Where do I have the file? All the way back here, probably. Oh no, I have the original Emma Stan Mangatar here.
You want to post that too? I think Emma would appreciate it.
I'll put that in the chat later. I'm just grabbing Clyde for the stream. There we go.
Sounds good.
Clyde's in the stream now. He's just hiding in his own little corner.
Oh, I'm
All
not seeing
right.
him.
He'll pop up in a minute. Stream's always delayed.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
All right. So let's move on to Poti asks, "What is the best meme in Destino history?"
You asked us the other day.
I did ask you this on a personal level, not on a AMA level.
I just want to see why I asked you. Oh, Pofeet was always a fun one. Dating back all the way to Mount Everest.
No, nobody remembers the
Um,
glory of Pofeet.
oh my goodness. I feel like we need to take the screenshots from that tribal and just like post them in that other server because that was gold. What else?
Just an immediate reaction to it. It could have been better.
Oh my goodness. There's also another meme called Emma for Bureaucrat. I don't know what that one is.
It's Emma's run for bureaucrat. You know, and you're constantly
Totally.
denying Emma's bureaucracy. So, follow-up question: when will Emma be made bureaucrat?
I don't know. When will Clyde ever be made bureaucrat?
A very wise answer. All right.
Um,
Do you have any other memes you would like to discuss?
I just also wanted to ask away.
Classic. What's up, girl? Promposal.
There was this one wasn't really at this rate it sounds like I'm bullying Emma, but the image of
Let's hope she doesn't see this.
the furry Emma one you made for Solus. That is the one
Yeah, season's
anywhere.
greetings.
Yeah.
I still sometimes react with it to stuff, and I don't think Emma notices anymore.
Or she does and she just deletes it.
No, because it stays there.
There's also another meme, Survivor Netherlands,
Survivor Netherlands, nice.
and Hunt Emerald Debt, which is an underrated one.
Oh yeah, and Clyde. Clyde's a good meme.
Oh yeah, Clyde. You can never forget about Clyde.
Yeah, that's why he's in the corner. He's got his special seat up there.
Well, I see him in the corner now. Hi, Clyde. How are you doing today?
Howdy, Clyde. All right. So moving on, we have a whole chain of them. So I'll just read it all at once. SBKT or Spect, I believe. That's what I'll say just for sake of ease. Will you marry me? Malik says, no. Marry me, Tommy. Tiff says, who are you marrying? And Chroma says, why is the answer to that question me? So, who are you marrying, Tommy? Be prepared to break a few hearts.
Next question.
Next question. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
So, Cayman asks, theoretically, if Destino Survivor never ends, could a player play an endless amount of times, or does a returnee have a cap limit of returns?
Man. Really, the cap limit, if there was going to be one, would probably be 5. It also depends on like how many times the returnee returns. And you played All Stars, so you know we've had some 3-timers on that season. And I'm going to be open with what I'm about to say. I regret doing that because I feel like it put like a target on the people who played more times right off the bat. Furthermore, just the idea of like 3-time players on All Stars, it just never appealed to me. Doesn't appeal to me anymore. It doesn't mean it won't happen. I feel like you guys may know what the next returning season will be, so expect some there. But as far as like our first All Star season, I wasn't a fan of doing the. I look back and I'm not a fan of the 3-timers on that season. If I should have changed anything, it would have probably like I would have done All Stars at season 8 and just scrap the second chance season that we did. But at the same time, the second chance season is the reason like some people became all stars. Like for example, look at Liam, the Ghost of the Coast. He probably would have never had like a chance of all stars, but after that streak on the ship of the Damned, he kind of earned his spot in all stars through that. So a little bit of tea on my end for anyone who never wanted it, but now you know.
All right. So, moving on, we have Tiff. So this was a question that was already asked. What's the location that you'd want to reuse for a Survivor season? So you said Rwanda came to mind as the first pick, and potentially Japan.
Yep.
Tiff asks, favorite episode of Destination, the podcast?
Kind of hard because it's hard for me to remember most of them.
I remember you having a great time on the Rwanda one, if that helps.
Oh, Rwanda, yeah, you can never forget Rwanda. It was a very it brings back a subtly like good memories. What else? I really enjoyed the manga one because I actually learned how to make mangas decently from that one. Is there anything else? I feel like I remember the first one we did.
Episodes of Destination.
Not
good.
The Westman's Wood one we did. That one was a good one. Just talk about the cast when I was even hosting. That was a good one, and I think I gotta rewatch the Rwanda one just to see if I remember if I liked it.
Yeah, you just had like
Um,
this like 20-minute long breakdown of like your journey into like hosting and what Rwanda's experience was to you, and I remember that being like a really nice
okay,
moment.
I'm gonna have to go back to that one because I do not remember it, but I definitely believe what you're saying. But definitely the manga workshop one with Cam's manga and the Westman's Wood cast assessment.
All right. Next question. Henry asks if you could redo one season with the same cast, play again a few seasons later, which would it be? I feel like we kind of asked this one earlier too, but
Yep.
let's see if the answer changes.
No, I think it wouldn't change. I definitely would love to do like a return to Rwanda type season, working out the kinks
Well,
from the
this
first
one's with the
one. Yeah.
same cast.
Wait, what?
Redo a season with the
What?
same
Oh,
cast.
okay. Oh, okay. I just read that. Um, Let me think. I would probably do. This is gonna be a wild card one, but probably Linkawi
Like
because
Kali.
yeah, because like that cast that season was actually pretty decent. We had Drew, Cayman, Liam, Sabrina, um, and I feel like it would have played differently upon different circumstances. The twist that season was pretty decent. Uh, I just feel like, yeah, definitely some things could have went differently in that game, and I would love to see like a redo of like Kawe with that cast because it definitely would have changed up. It doesn't take anything away from Mark, who, if you're listening to this, you were a fantastic winner that season. Definitely one that was unexpected with how his game started, but overall amazing.
All right. So that brings us to Andrew. Do you prefer a hidden idol system, like hidden in Discord service, or a public idol system, idol grids, RNG, stuff like that?
Hmm. Well, we've always do. I feel like a lot of them are like the RNG public type stuff. But I definitely love it when we do like different type of hidden idol systems, which I want to see more of on Destino. Uh, but as far as like if I have a preference, I don't have a preference over you either. I feel like seasons nowadays have a more wide array rather than just doing the grid or the guess what castaway and get the idol or a mastermind type idol.
All right. Moving on. Spect. Okay. Why hasn't Tommy competed in a single Destino season despite not hosting Wispen's Wood and Flaming Cliffs?
There's actually a good reason behind that. For starters, it's because with founding this org, I've made this commitment not to play it because there's a shit ton of other orgs I can play. And right now, I'm actually not looking in playing orgs, but there's so much like out there. I don't feel the need to play my own org. Furthermore, say like I play a season, just say like your regular like 18-person season, I go out third boot. I just don't feel like I'd be content with going out early if I were to play a season on my own org. So I don't play it for the reason that if I flop, I don't think I can live that down. And I've been in the Westman's Woods and Flaming Cliffs host chats, and I know what goes on before the season. So yeah, I'm not. I'm not hosting. I'm not playing.
All right. Satra asks, what do you enjoy the most about hosting?
The stress.
Woohoo!
As far as like the hosting though, I've met like a few people that I ended up becoming friends with through like hosting them first, like you.
I think we met in Twisted first, actually.
I mean, we did meet in Twisted first, but did we really talk?
We talked like the first 4 days.
Yeah, like the first 4 days, and then we just didn't talk. But as far as like hosting, it really is good to bring your like ideas to life, like what I did with Genesis, despite it being a little bit of a mess. Rwanda, Mount Everest. Um, like Maui wasn't technically my idea. The Mind versus Heart one will forever be one of my favorites. Just being able to initiate that twist, and it's 100% a casting concept I'd do again. Uh but yeah, it's definitely that's the benefit of like hosting. It's like bringing your ideas to life.
All right. So here's Tommy's little buff collection for anyone watching. Very nice. What's up, girl? Nathaniel asks, you said you'd want an all-winner season, but would you ever want something like a season of runner-ups? Or merge boots, or first boots, etc. Just any specific placement, I suppose.
Um, I to be realistic, a first boot season will never happen unless it's it's never gonna happen. But as far as like us, I do think second chance will come again in the future. Um, merge boots, I don't know how. If it's kind of hard to answer that because it could go like a lot of different ways. Like looking at some of the runner-ups that we've had on Destino, like I would love to see most of them back. But as far as a season like full of those players, I don't think it'd be realistic. Winners at War, I feel like would be possible, and that's not gonna be until like seasons down the line, or even like a theming where it's like winners versus runner-ups versus merge boots. I've actually thought about seasons like that, so it's definitely something like I'm not opposed to doing it in that type of way. But as far as like a season, full of like one specific like boot archetype, I just don't know.
Look, I'm just saying, runner-ups more stacked than winners.
That's true.
That is true. It's
We
confirmed.
can do it like Survivor South Africa turned Outcast, where it's like merge boots for people who made merge versus people who did make merge.
I like it. I like it. All right, we're confirming the next returning season here and now. This is exactly what we're
No,
doing.
no, no,
Fully
no.
confirmed from the mouth of Tommy himself. All right, Tommy asks, red, yellow, orange. What color should I get next?
What color buff should I get next?
You
Because
edited that after.
because if it's orange, that's all one option for 44. But if it's red or yellow, then I am gonna look at those 43 buffs again. What's that, foe? Very good.
All right, and assuming that there is no other questions, I
Wait, let's check.
I'm not seeing any more except for one that I believe is the most important one to end on. So, Tommy, what does hamster meat taste like?
Good question. That's why I was asking.
Interesting. Very interesting. So, before we conclude here, is there anything else you would like to say?
Yeah. Thank you for all the support you've given to Destino. I'm talking to everyone who's listening to this, played Destino in the past, and has not cheated. Um, it's definitely cool to see in the near 4 year existence of this org how much it has grown from being like a face or a low quality org on Facebook that couldn't even use the wiki properly to now like having like amazing graphics for a season, full fledged hosting teams dedicated to wanting to make a season great. It's amazing to see how the org has grown from 2019 to now, and it's it's gonna be amazing to see. Even if I'm not like involved in this community heavily, I want to see how this org grows from now to say 2026 because I feel like it's gonna keep on growing and keep on evolving.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Tommy. It's been a pleasure having you, as always.
Wait,
And
one more thing, Shane. I'm nominating you to do this next.
please tag 3 friends that you want to do an AMA on Destino next. All right. So, yeah, thank you so much. I hope everyone got their fill of what they wanted to hear from you at this point. And with that, we will be signing off. Thank you so much, everybody.